Hello, Instagram. Hello, Facebook.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you for joining us.
We're on Facebook, Instagram, Live, and both of them. So this is really exciting. Today's February 15th, and it is our 47th episode.
46th.
46. I jumped one ahead, but thank you for your love and support. My name is Parvin, and
Doug Parvin.
And we're here to share this hour with you. And it's called Serenity and Sobriety. And we're just so pleased and appreciate all of the love and support that we get on a weekly basis. And if you're new here, I just want to let you know I have a book coming out, How to Get Your Life Back. And it will be published by Amazon this summer, 2018. And what Doug and I do is we do a topic every week. This week's topic is honesty and your truth. And the thing is, don't let it stop you with serenity and sobriety, because sobriety comes in many forms of what we're...
Clear mind,
clear thinking, how we're taking life in through all of the senses, the five senses with Ayurveda, and also of living a clean and sober life. If you choose or practicing the path of peace, whatever it is, and there's no judgment here. We're all in this together, so this is like our tribe. And then after the discussion, I always started off with the topic and the points that we're addressing, and Doug shares his experience with it afterwards. And then if you have any questions and answers, please put them here, because we do pull cards and we answer questions on the topic or anything that you're going through. Please be patient. We get to as many as possible. We simply cannot get to all the people. And then at the very end, we do a blanketed reading for all of those who have joined in through the whole hour. So it will be there, and we'll get to as many people, and we absolutely love the support. And click love, and let us know where you all are from. Post, hey, I'm from California. Hey, I'm from anywhere, from Australia.
Yeah.
And all the different people. This goes global.
And if you feel drawn, please share.
Please share.
With your groups.
Yes, so in that, I do have a website, bridgetparvin.com, where I offer readings, intuitive insights, and any coaching that is available for your needs. And check that out. And Doug has his YouTube channel.
12 Sound Solutions. It's 12 Sound Solutions. And there's a lot of meditations, crystal bowl meditations, and just other things, tuning forks, all kinds of that stuff. There's a crystal bowl meditation where it's just you and the bowl, and it's like a 3-minute, so it's a nice way to be still for a minute and just kind of settle.
Yes, and there's a YouTube for each one of the chakras.
Each
one of the chakras. So, and then tuning forks. So it's really great to do in the privacy of your own home. And so if you don't want to travel somewhere, just do it right there on the spot. I also have on our website a yoga nidra meditation, which I offer at our yoga studio every single Tuesday at 5 p.m. for those who are local. Doug does the sound healing part with the sound bath, and I do the guided meditation. There's also a free download on our website, or for 99 cents, you could stick it in your phone and you don't have to visit the website each and every time. So we offer all kinds of things, and we're just so pleased to have you all join us. So I'm sending you lots of love. Yesterday was the Love Day all across the world. That self-love is the most important love, first and foremost. I've learned that myself on my road of recovery through the years. It's something that I did not know how to do, and I am very familiar with practicing it nowadays, so I could extend that to others. So hope you had a lovely day, and if you're still practicing that self-love, do it on a daily basis, okay? So the topic today we've been guided to is honesty and your truth. So here's the deal with it. Here's what I've learned on my journey, and Doug will share what he's learned. So for me, not living in my truth creates chaos. That's bottom line. You don't want me to be around you if I'm not living in my truth. That's what got me into the predicament prior to being in recovery, walking in that path, it was like I was dying inside, because I was leading a double life. And for those of you who want to know what that double life looked like, it was the life of my public self and then my private self. So what I would put out there and then what was behind closed doors. Those are two different things. And so when you're ready to blend the two of those and lead a more transparent life, you're free. I know that's what happened for me. So one of the things that was difficult for me, and we learn it, is we live in a compulsive world, which is a false illusion. And so when you are born into families that are addicted and develop survival skills that just kind of keep you going forward and bringing this into your adult life, you learn how to hide the life of your home life away from the people that are out in the world, the mainstream. And so this develops at a very early age, in the school age, and it's kind of like things develop of people pleasing, bullying, being one who is a wallflower, just all the different dynamics. And we simply in the 1 hour don't have all of the coverage to go into that great detail. So recovery assists in developing and discovering what doesn't fit anymore. It's kind of like when you're in these families, then the blinders are closed, and that is your world, and that is the truth, and that is the belief system. When you open those blinders, there's a whole world out there that's colorful beyond measure. And not only is it colorful beyond measure, it's vast. But when the blinders are on, can only see what's in front, and that's the truth, and that's false. So recovery assists in what does not fit anymore. It's like uncovering and discarding.
Discovering and discarding, yeah.
Yes, what no longer suits us. And that's where true freedom begins. So another thing is practicing aligning ourselves with right action. And one of the things that helped me a lot was that prayer of St. Francis, of make me an instrument, doing the opposite of what I used to do. That's how we get into wellness, by practicing the presence of something completely opposite, of bringing in more light, bringing in more peace. And it comes over time gradually, and then gradually we become whole again. Not that we're perfect. We're not looking for perfection. If we were perfect, we would not be on this earth plane. and so this is a practice of practicing the presence of peace, practicing the presence of bringing love to all of our actions, and being that light being that we're called to be on this planet. And so what we do is surrender to that double life and live in light and live in truth, by practicing just that lifestyle. And it doesn't come easy. It's a slow, gradual process, but that awareness is the key. Once you have that key of awareness, there is a shift. There's a shift of consciousness that aligns you with your higher self, your spirit guides, and your guardian angels. And in that, you will intuitively know how to handle life, how to handle situations, how to handle people, places, and things, because in meditation, you will get all of the answers that you need, and that is what your truth is. So it's a spiritual growth that's a result of looking face to face at situations that are creating pain in our lives, first and foremost, and then creating pain in other people's lives that are around us. There's a saying in the 12 steps, if you step on the toes of others, they retaliate. And believe me, baby, I've learned the hard way. I have this mentor, and she'll say, Bridget, look for that nugget of truth. Even if there's like this big old hill or a mound on it where it's all a bunch of BS, covered up, there's got to be a nugget of truth in there, that if people are angry and if it feels like a hornet's nest, there's something that I did to somebody that really set that off. It just doesn't happen. Even if it's like 10% that I owe, own of it, I've still got to look for that 10%, because even if the 90% is BS and completely blinding, I love this thing that just happened. One of my beautiful friends, I'm going to call her the Aqua Queen, Michelle Zimowit, and she has a book. It's on healing through addictions from opiates, and her sharing her path with it. And she is I want to say an ordained, it's with law enforcement, a chaplain with law enforcement. Thank you. So she's a chaplain with law enforcement, and she has this story that she and her family were going to a concert in Sacramento. The concert sold out, and she went and bought, it sold out, but at Christmas, it was their whole family package deal, okay? And so this was like the big present for everybody, and they went and they got tickets for the whole family. Well, non-knowing to Michelle Zemwit, she goes and brings her family to this concert in Sacramento that's this rocking concert, and she is blinded by this big thing. She can't even see the stage, and her family can't even see the stage. So she was like, what was up with this? Because she had this whole family package and everything. She shared with her friends what happened at the Golden One Arena, which is this rockin' arena that we have in Sacramento. And she put it on Facebook, took the pictures and everything. Well, the agent and the personal team of who this concert was with saw it, and instantly they made it right, which is beautiful, and they reimbursed the money, and then they sent all this swag from the singer and the band, all these autographs. And so in my eyes, that what I'm going to put a plug out there, what Toby Mac did. Toby Mac, you've always been a favorite. You made it right. You rock. And that's putting the pedal it's laying it down right there on the road. And he made all of it right, reimbursed, and just sent all this autographed stuff. And there was something that's made amends to it, made amends. So there's that nugget of truth in there where he was absolutely able to do some inner reflection, and they made it right. That's a beautiful thing. So in meditation, journaling, and praying, it creates strength to find solutions. Okay, so we're not doing this alone. Find your tribe. If you don't have a tribe, we're your tribe. Join us here on Thursdays for Serenity and Sobriety. And knowing that you can find people that you can trust, that when you ask for help, you want people who you can trust, who won't belittle you, who will support and reinforce and guide you with the next indicated right step and direction to take. So here are problems today. Remember, are opportunities for spiritual growth, and that leads to honesty, cash register honesty, simple little white lies. That's not honest. People pleasing is not honest, because there's a motive, there's an agenda underneath it where you're looking for some payback or some reward. I know this only from the path that I have walked.
Right.
Not just
trust is like, this is just from doing the work. It's like trusting the people that have done the work. It's like, no, this isn't. I mean, this is
no.
The fingers pointing at me on these things.
Yeah, and so this is the work, but you're not alone. We're not alone. And in this, find that spiritual truth. Find out what resonates with you. Take what you like. Leave the rest. We're spiritual beings, and we are in this together. Whatever you find your truth in, don't let anybody take that away from you. Don't let anyone find a way in to discount what your spiritual beliefs are. Because that is your true path to peace, of knowing of who you are, knowing your spiritual truth, and knowing just that path of spirituality that resonates and works for you. Okay? And that is exactly where you will feel whole, that divine connection. I myself, I have a creator of my very own understanding that I don't have to defend to anybody. It's my truth. I work with my guardian angels, my archangels, my spirit guides, and just, it's vast. It's not compartmentalized where it's like in this nugget and I know what's best for you. If I know what's best for you, I'm in some big danger because I only know half the time. My truth is I don't even know what's best for me.
Progress.
That's not true. That's I have mentors to check in with that, but I'm just making this light with that part of it, in the process of it, and find out what works for you. Yoga studios, meditation practices, and temples. Anything, mosques, synagogues.
Churches,
yes, 12-step rooms.
Like-minded people in 12-step rooms, yeah.
Yes, so that's it for me, and I'm gonna have turned over to Doug.
I like that. That the honesty thing. To be honest, it's like it's changing, and I like you said, speaking your truth. And my truths have changed over the process and over the years. Yes. Where I was, turn and burn, and now it's like it's wide and vast.
Hey,
It's like continuing to evolve by clearing a little bit of stuff out of, trying to focus and move towards the person I want to be. And clearing a little bit of that stuff that no longer serves and moving forward. And it's just progress and making progress and that kind of thing. And the honesty is, first of all, it's like coming to find that, I have a problem, or I have something in this area I don't like. I don't feel good if I do something like drinking. Was of course the big one for me, alcoholism, and I didn't I'm doing it, and as I'm doing it I don't like it, and then you'd come to, and then you got the guilt and the remorse, and the only way to kill the guilt and remorse is to start drinking again. And it's just this this loop, this feedback that just keeps going over and over and over. And the guilt and remorse, and it's like just finally coming to a place where I just came to a point where I had to surrender and give up. It's like I can't do this anymore. And that's it can in any way, shapes and forms, and it can be not counting items in a checkout line, whatever it is. There's people on the freeway. Those are always good gauges. We have a friend, and he does gardening, and he says, if you want to know how I'm doing, look at my garden. And it's the same as life. It's like, how I'm doing is how much I tend to my garden, how much I tend and work on doing inventories and looking at myself and not other people, and they should be blah blah blah. We talked about it last week, spiritual pride, where I think that you should be doing this, and it's like, no, I'm just trying, like Bridget said, figure out what I should be doing and feel comfortable in here, because that's the whole thing. It's like the honesty is like, how does that make you feel? How does that make me feel? And it's an ongoing process. It's like we used to do AV company, and I remember we were packing up this one time, and Bridget was helping me clean up and pack up, and she packed up these microphones that happened to be from this facility, and I see them, and they're in our stuff, they're loaded in there, and,
on accident.
And I mean, trust me, I'm no saint. It's like it's like, well, yeah, we can pack them up, and then it's like, no, that makes me feel icky, because first of all I'm justifying and thinking through the process, and it's like, no, it's not worth that, it's not worth those things to take that little chink out of your armor, out of your soul, that makes you feel guilt and remorse, and then it leads me down that road of addiction, or wanting to, whatever it is, to not feel that guilt and remorse. Because like stuff like that, it's like every time you pick it up, it's like, oh geez, and then you want to cover that, and it's just a little step towards back into for me, drugs and alcohol, or what, whatever it is. And that's my honesty, and that's what it's like, coming to know and learn who I am, and how, and there's no perfection in it. It's just like,
right.
Like business meetings or something. If we go, how am I able to behave in a setting like that today, the day of? And if I'm not, then my mentor is like, you can't go if you can't behave yourself, and that's what I want, because I don't want to project, or I don't want to harm others anymore. trust me, in the past, harming others, I didn't mean to harm others by no means, but I was so self-absorbed with my own stuff and own pain and own, like yesterday was Valentine's Day, the loneliness and all that stuff that comes with, some of the holidays. And, the only way I had to deal with those things was through alcohol. And it worked until it quit working. And then I'm left with this stuff. And that's the honesty, is coming to this point where it's like, I just can't do this anymore. And I need help. And that's where, coming together in groups like Bridget mentioned, coming together in groups and being with like-minded people, honest people who aren't going to belittle or bash you for, these things. And it's like, because it's like really,
right.
In some of the rooms you'll see, people come back into the rooms and they'll get bashed. And it's like, come on, it's like I bash, when I'm doing that stuff, I'm bashing myself more than any of you could ever do. The negative self-talk that I have in myself is way worse than anything anybody could say to me. And it's like and then somebody comes up to me and says something like that, it's like, yeah, you're right. I am a whatever. And that's not, it's love. And that's the, that's sharing that love. And it's like, yeah, I remember feeling like that. Or, coming into, groups like this and it's like sharing those experiences. It's like, we're not alone. It's like, okay, let's do this together. It's like, it's unity, not separation. And that's the honesty is, again, coming to myself, being honest with myself, stepping out and trusting something or somebody, that's again, over the years, it's like, what I thought last year is not what I think this year, because I keep continuing to grow and expand. So does my world, my universe, whatever it is. And by doing that, I get to be a little more, I can feel a little better in here. I can lay my head on the pillow at night and go to sleep. And I don't have to spin or run as much. Not, there's no perfection here. Some days are better than others, and I get caught up in fears and all this kind of stuff. And again, doing this and practicing this process over years now, it gets a little easier, and it's a little more comfortable. It's more go-to. It's like, and the other thing is like we talk about, talking about what is it? Faith bank. And it's like, walking through something that's big and scary, and then you walk through it, and then you make it through it, because we make it through it, and you make it through it, and you put that in your faith bank. And then next time something comes up that's big and scary, it's like, oh yeah, I didn't see any way out of that other thing, but I got through it, and it unfolded in a way that I had no idea, that because I'm trying to figure it out in my own brain, and that's, that can be dangerous. And if I'm not sharing it with somebody else, or asking for help or guidance or direction. And sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's good stuff. It's not all bad. And say, yeah, that's a good idea. That's a direction you should go in. And again, as time has passed, the direction and the guidance that I get is more. And it's like we're doing what we do. It's coming back to our own intuition and trusting and learning that we are divinely guided. We have that inside know. Sometimes it's that quiet voice. And the quiet voice over a period of time gets louder. And it gets more frequent and more easy to go with. Because in with all the fears and thousands of kinds of fears that I have grabbed onto, it's, that's not going to work. It's like, well, drinking, a big one. It's like, no, I'm going to, I came to accept my life as my grandfather died drunk, my dad died drunk, I'm going to die drunk. It's not true. It is not true. Well, I haven't died yet. But for today, that's the goal. Is to die a sober, clean and sober life, and move on. But, those were truths that, that I lived my life by, that were not true, that I can change my life, that I can move forward and learn a new way of living. And it's funky and weird and scary and fun and all those kind of things wrapped in together. And that's like, I like coming in groups like this of people who have done, gone forward and done this stuff. It's like, so we can be funky, weird, and awkward together. Because it's like, yeah, it's like, well, when we met, it was, okay, here's an example. living a life of drugs and alcohol. Then you stop drinking, doing drugs and alcohol, and then you're left with yourself and feelings and all this stuff. And it's like, then you try dating, and it's like, that's weird. It's just weird. It's like having to have a couple drinks to loosen up to even go talk to a girl was, it's like, now you remove that. Now I'm funky and weird and awkward. But we're in a group with people who are funky, weird, and awkward. And it's like, we get to have fun and not laugh at each other. It's getting to laugh with each other, because it's like, yeah, I can relate when I can be honest with you. Then you say yeah, or you share it and be honest with me, and it's like yeah. It's that nodding, and it's like I catch myself nodding. It's like, yeah, I agree, I can relate, or I resonate with that. And that's, the more I get to practice it, the more honest I get to be with myself, and the more honest I get to be with you. And here again, it's that self-honesty first. It's coming into, it's like, this isn't working, or it may be working, but it's just something I'd like to clean up a little more. I'd like to be a little better at. It's like be a little, prayer meditation, coming back into that, and doing those things and learning different ways and trying different, all kinds of, and it's like even listening to different music, whatever it is, finding out who you are, and it's not going with the crowd. It's like, any kind of thing like that. It's just, who am I? Who am I? Because like standing in front, if you get, whatever, you stand in front of the judge, a ticket or anything, whatever it is, it's just you. It's not the group of people who urged you into doing something, whatever. But it's just you, and it's just standing there with you and your creator, your higher power, and just being still and saying, this is who I am. I'm a child of love, and it's, and that's who I am, and it's coming and being honest, and again, being that honesty kind of brings that vulnerability, and that brings up some fears, and it's like, no, drop the fears, be vulnerable. And it's amazing how we resonate and we come to this intimacy, which is the into me you see. You start pulling down the masks, and it's like Bridget, like she started off in the beginning, is being who you are at home, in the office. You're transparent. You're the same person. You don't have to put on these facades or masks to fit in anymore. You can just be yourself. And then, granted, there's varying degrees of that, and it's still a process. It's not perfection, and just that. But it's a little more. Each time I get to do some work, it's a little more comfortable in here. And this is where this is, Bridget mentioned, in the house, and this is the house. This is my house. This is where I live, and it's like being okay in here. And it's like not having to make amends, and making amends when, because it's one thing. It's like I not necessarily like making amends. So I was like, I want to do my best not to have to make an amend. And so it's like sometimes it's just zipping, being quiet until I can share or work with somebody who's giving me encouragement or whatever, mentors or whatever that may be. But coming back to the self-honesty and that being, your authentic self, because that is a beautiful thing. That is the beautiful thing. So it's really great to, get to come here and you guys coming and joining us. And again, here it's together. It's we. It's united. Unity.
Yes. Thank you, Doug.
Thank you.
That was awesome. I remember now the book that my friend Michelle, it's Ruby Red Shoes. Ruby Red Shoes is the book on opiate addiction, is what I was mentioning later. And so now we're going to go over here to Facebook, and I see some questions and some card readings. So we'll get to as many as possible. And I am guided to go first with Zach. Zach, so glad you're here. Okay, so Zach says, hello, Bridget and Doug. Hi, Zach.
Hey, Zach.
Lots and lots of love to you. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. So Zach has, hello, Bridget and Doug. I would love what guidance from divine angels and guides have for me in the grief process. I am in with adjusting to this roller coaster. It is the first loss of a close friend, my fairy sister, especially one of the few who seem to fully understand me and the spiritual elements. Oh, Zach, well, I'm sending you lots of love, and all of the friends here who are watching this, please send Zach lots of love too. Interesting, because as I was preparing and putting the cards on here, I did get these one's the deck from James Von Prawn. I was just really guided to stick that on there, and I was like really drawn to it. So Zach, we got Zach here, and so I am here with what a gift that your beloved friend gave you, Zach. I'm getting that your friend will still be working with you. That energy that you're so used to, it will be amped up in a different way now. So you're being called to step it up more spiritually with honing in your gifts that you have, that you bestow yourself. She hasn't gone far from you at all, is what's coming through. She's coming through with laughing and giggling and showing you even a way to lighten up your load. And there's going to be some more work you're going to be tapping into more with the grief work process, because your journey in this is it's cracked your heart wide open there, my friend. And I'm really there's a part of me, I send you my love, I send you my best, and in that there are opportunities for growth, because this has expanded, and she's a good friend. She's taken you down it even further. So the first card that comes through is, I wish I had told you more often how much I love you. Be outdoors in nature and frequently visit them even more outside. Meditation, journaling, and connecting even more so. I'm getting, don't stay cloaked up. Don't close your heart off. This is opening more of an expansion. The next card is, I will always point you in the right direction. So there's a fork in the road, and this is going to further enhance your journey. There are no mistakes in any of this, and she is guiding you to the next phase. Okay, so as your spiritual team has expanded, it's like there's no more box, there's no more veil, and open the door, walk through this door of learning and growing through. In fact, it's pretty amazing. Gordon Smith is coming up. You've got to get the book. Gordon Smith is coming up. Look it up on honing in the skills. Your angels are going wink, wink. You'll know what direction that leads you in. Gordon Smith is a very, very good one. My friend Charles Virtue, he even says Gordon Smith is the real deal, raw, and will get you honed in and anchored in. So this is just taking you, hopping you, pulling you into the next phase. And the next one is, I see all your thoughts. And in that, we're all spiritual beings. It's all energy. And so that door has not been closed. In fact, there is no more door. There is no more building. It's like it is here for you. And keep in touch with me, okay? Keep in touch, because I really, Zach, like I said once again, this was the gateway to get it opened even further. And you're going to have so much compassion and open your heart even more so. And you're really going to be able to help a lot of people through this. So stay in touch, my dear friend. Lots of love. Sending you lots of love. Thank you for being here.
Let me refresh real quick.
Refresh that, please. Okay, so now
let's run down here.
it looks like Valerie Richards would love a reading to get some guidance with her love life. Do you want to go for that?
Where is that?
Right here, love. Valerie Richards.
Hello, Valerie.
Hello, Valerie. Welcome.
Welcome. Thank you guys so much for joining us too. It's we. Okay, and these are the Romance Angel cards by Doreen Virtue. Let's see. Oh, okay. So, first one up here is romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. And here's that, talking about that honesty today. And your feelings are real and worth exploring. So, tuning in, and it's like trusting your intuition and moving forward and trusting that gut, and making sure that as you're tuning in, sometimes the butterflies, it can be nerves too. It could be, but just checking in with that, and knowing that your what you're getting is real, is true. And having the romantic feelings and everything, and moving forward, and again trusting. I'm getting more so just trusting your own knowingness. Oh,
nice.
And there you go. So trusting your own romantic feelings, trusting your own intuition and your own instinct. And then the next one is pay attention to the red flags. And it says the signs are cautioning you. So here again, trusting your gut, trusting your intuition, and pay attention to the red flags. And I know sometimes, like, especially in relationships, it's like, well, I really want this relationship to work, but there's a red flag, but I can change it, or this and that. But it's like, no, it's your authentic self, and it's like presenting and doing and being true to yourself, and knowing that you're worth the best. It's like good can be the enemy of the best, and so it's like don't settle, and pay attention to the red flags. You're getting that divine guidance. You know. And by doing that, there's a wedding in the end.
Yay, Valerie!
So it says, this situation involves marriage. So here again, because the other side of that is paying attention to your red flags, and it doesn't mean that, cut and run. It means, being honest and sharing. It's like sharing with the other person, I'm not comfortable with this. Can we work through this? Mm-hmm. And it's not, cutting and running. It's just being your authentic self, and, instead of, looking the other direction or anything. It's being true to who you are. And then by doing that, and then by coming into the wedding card coming up, it's like, so when you're going into the marriage, or being true to yourself, that's who being in all fairness to the other person, it's you're showing up as who your authentic self is. It's like that's who they love and whatnot. And it's this card. I love this card because if you look at the woman there, she's got her eyes. She's keeping an eye on him, but it's it's here again, keeping that to thine own self be true, trusting your gut, trusting your intuition, being truthful in the relationship. So you're showing up to the relationship. So it is a relationship. But I see good things, and here again, by doing those things, being true to yourself. Trusting your intuition, your guidance, and again, here that wedding is also not just. I'm also getting that it's not just with another person, but it's with you, to your authentic self.
Awesome! How wonderful! Thank you, Valerie. And so now we have. I saw Clancy up here. So we've got Clancy. Hi guys, thanks for being here. If you feel drawn. Any messages for me? Okay, thank you, Clancy. So what I'm guided to use is I'm going to take the goddess cards. I'm taking those right here. I absolutely love these cards. Okay. Okay, so we've got the Green Terrace, start delegating. Ask others, including yourself, to help you. You need to ask for more help from people instead of trying to do everything by yourself. So there's this part where I'm getting kind of like this overdrive where it's kind of going, and things will get done. It's just kind of collectively having more people participate with you to help make your job easier. It may not be perfect. They may not do it perfect, and that's okay. It will still get done, and that's a wonderful thing because it lightens up your plate. So your angels are asking you to do things right now to lighten up your load. Then the next one is Iselt, undying love. The love you have shared is eternal, regardless of the situation. So I'm getting some heart chakra clearing is going on right now. There's something kind of like with a disagreement, something where a misunderstanding, and just hold the space and ask for your creator and your guardian angels to have a conference with the other person. Whatever has been opposing, whatever has not come to the surface with a healing situation, just know that on behalf of that, you're a healer, and that by you even lighting a candle and sending good thoughts, sending good prayers going in that direction, that this will mend far greater than what a verbal thing would between the two of you. So know that the higher selves are involved in this, and in the rest of it, there's the misunderstandings, but that it will get resolved as soon as you practice this. And there's only love and lessons, but go the distance, and it's key with something that is kind of, it's not like big, like right at the surface, but it's kind of something on a back burner that just kind of weighs on you slightly. Then the next card is Artemis, the guardian. The guardian. You and your loved ones are safe and spiritually protected. So know that all parties that are involved in your life, instead of trying to do things on your own to help situations, know that they all have a course in their life also, and that everybody is on the path, and that you don't have to worry about how things will unfold or what's going to happen. And this frees you up a bit so you can lead the life that you were meant to have, also with more freedom, flexibility, and more creativity in your life. So it's really good to have you here with us, Clancy. Clancy, thank you. Thank you.
And go back to the down towards the beginning. There's somebody.
This moves around so quick, so it's not in order or anything like that. We're doing the ones where there is guidance in what shows up on the screen here, and then we'll do a blanketed reading at the very end for us all.
I think Kristen, I saw it. Okay. Kristen Vitus, would love any advice or guidance from angels. Not living my truth.
Okay, thank you.
Well, by speaking that, you are living your truth. So here again, I'm going to go with the Angela Hartfield's Ganesha cards.
Yes. Oh, look, she's a hairdresser. Hi. Hi, Kristen. I'm also a hair designer, and we're going to Ohio in June. Cleveland, Ohio. They're having something called Founders Day, and we're going with our friends back there, a bunch of friends back there, where there'll be like thousands and thousands of people going to a conference back there. It's going to feel like a stadium.
Oh, cool. Great.
And this is for Kristen.
Kristen. And again, it says, not living my truth. So, Kristen, with that, the first card here, I love this. The first card here is protection. And that's part of when you're not living your truth, and you're surrounded, with people, and you're, maybe trying to, you're protecting. It's protection, protecting yourself. So, you don't want anything negative or anything, and it's like just going with the flow and not making waves, any of that kind of stuff. Maybe not speaking your truth or anything like that. But it's just letting things, and you can. There's a way to do that, to let things roll off your back, but it's like prayer and meditation, to practice, doing prayer and meditation. But that way things can slide off, and roll off your back, but you're not taking them in and internalizing them. So part of the reason, and it's like, first of all, give yourself a break. Don't, it's coming to know that, that you're just like a self-protection. It's like something to do to self-preserve. And here, the next card is, I'm going to move into the next card because this flows right with it. And it says the capacity to love. And here's the capacity to love. And that's, you're protecting yourself because that you're protecting your heart. It's protecting that heart. And that's what, and by doing that, and again, speaking your truth with love, it brings and it makes it bigger, and it brings that capacity to love even more. So it's almost like what you just did here, admitting that, and then it's like moving forward into that. You're already speaking your truth, saying that right there. So you're doing it. Give yourself, a little kudos there that you're doing it. But it also, know that, okay, I'm afraid, or, I'm afraid this is going to happen, or that person's going to do this. And it's like, it's a self-preservation. And of course, running this by somebody else, and there's even, there's like role playing. If somebody's you want to speak the truth to somebody and you don't know how it's going to come across. If you have a safe person that you can like say, and they know the other person or something, it's like they know how that's going to react. But it's just taking those little steps to move forward into being your authentic self. Because here we go, and look at these cards. They're beautiful. They're also okay. So anyway, I'm getting excited. The last one here is wholeness, and that's what we're going for, is the wholeness, your wholeness, because that is beautiful. And here, this is a green card, heart center, heart love. And here's another green card, heart love. Here it is. And this protection one, and I'm getting the chills because it's like protection is taking your power back. It's yellow. It's the solar plexus. And it's bringing that power back. And just stepping out, and it doesn't have to, stepping out and doing baby steps or whatever, and just here again admitting that right here on here, it's like you're taking that power back. You're doing that. You're taking your power back, and just take baby steps. Be gentle with yourself. Give yourself credit for doing that, and just moving forward. And that's where we come, into the wholeness. And I think that's what we're all here trying to do is come to that wholeness of who we are, being instead of having a hole through us, it's like we become whole. We fill that in with who we are.
Yes.
So, thank you.
Thank you, Kristen.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Take that power back.
Now I see Lisa Bansley. Hi, family. I'm feeling like I don't want to do the program anymore. I don't know what's going on, but I just don't feel like it's for me anymore. Reading, please, or just contact me, private messenger later. Well, Lisa, I'm glad that you're working on this, that this is an awareness. I do send you lots of love. Okay, so I see that you're on this thing, on this path, that there's change going on, and changing in another direction. I'm just seeing that something that about getting fed is coming through. I do see of you getting a new mentor is what it is. Definitely do not give up on the program. It's not the program. The program always works. If there's some people and personalities getting in the way, there's a different reflection. I will definitely keep in touch with you at a later point on what's going on with that, okay? But this is pretty cool. Okay, so this is with change. And one of the things is religion and spirituality, okay? No surprise there. So this is where you need to get fed. You need a fire hose. Girl, you are so hungry, and you're around people who are complacent. Okay, they're good with that. They're coasting. Let them coast.
The only way to coast is if you're going downhill.
Right. Let that happen, but enriching and enlarging your spirituality, and you don't even have to explain it to them. Just do your thing is what's coming through. But you're right. This is, don't get locked or caught in a box, because you're this spiritual being, and your wings are just like big, and they need to come out big time, okay? So don't settle for less is what's coming through. The next one is heavenly signs. So there's your roots will always be where they're at. Your foundation will always be where it's at. You're being called right now to even step it up even more as a light worker, okay? So that's the deal. That's why you're getting hungry for more. And definitely feed that. Feed that. Keep on learning. Keep on growing, enlarging your spiritual program. The next card is moving. And so this feels like yet you're not going to be moving from your foundation. You're expanding, okay? And in that, it's the colors of the sacral chakra. The solar plexus is coming up. So know that out with the old, in with the new. Don't let yourself get dusty. Don't let yourself get stagnant. If people are as snug as a bug in a rug, let them be. Just don't judge them, and open up your wings and fly is what's coming through. Okay, so I love you, girl. And thank you very much for being with us, Lisa. Okay. I did see, let's see, refreshing that. Renisha.
Can I please have a relationship reading? Perfect.
Here
We
you
have
go.
relationship cards.
We do.
Thank you, Renisha. I'm going to go right there. Okay. Boy. Okay, Renisha. So the first card that comes up is codependency. And it says addictions are affecting your romantic life.
It's Renisha right here, love.
Right there.
Right there. It moves so quick. It moves so quick.
Okay. So it says codependency. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. So here again, being true to who you are. That's again today's topic. The self-honesty is really showing up. But don't settle. Again, don't settle. And it's like, again, I'm going to say it again. It's like, the good is the enemy of the best. And it's like knowing who you are, not trying to maybe change other people's, but it's turning that, looking at yourself and saying, this is who I am and this is what I want. And be flexible, but it's also letting others be who they are. And it's like this story with the snake. It's like, the woman, the story with the snake where she goes out and she finds this, it's freezing cold, and there's the snake on the road, and she goes and finds the snake, and she brings it in, takes it in, warms it up, sets it by the fire to thaw it out, take care of it and everything, and gives it, loves it, and gets it back, nurses it back to health, and the snake, comes back to life or whatever, and comes back to health, and it bites her, and she says, and she looks at the snake and is like, look what all I've done for you. I took you, I gave you shelter, I warmed you up, I took care of you, and how can you bite me? And the snake says, lady, when you saw me, you saw I was a snake. It's like, that's what I'm going to do. And so it's, again, not, being true to yourself and knowing who you are, and again, trusting that inside. I think so often what we may want is something that, isn't what is good for us. I'll leave it at that. So here again, coming back to self, the next card is retreat, and it says it's time to disconnect from the world. So I'm getting that. It's like coming back into meditation, being still, being quiet, taking that time for yourself, and really sitting there and focusing on a relationship or on yourself. Here again, it's always us, it's never them. So it's like, am I being my authentic self? Am I showing, it's like what you want in a partner, am I being that? Is that who I'm portraying? And so being still and being who you are. And here it's, there's a couple here. So it's like being true to them. By being true to yourself, you're being true to them and letting them know who they're getting, So taking that time for yourself, again, it's always that oxygen mask on ourselves first, so we can show up to the party. We can show up to the relationship. We can show up as who we are. So, but you got to take that time out for yourself, and especially this card with codependency, we will tend not to do that, to take care of ourselves. So here, I'm getting past life relationship. You have known each other before, and so. And here again, sometimes it's and it may not even be, it's like the past life relationship, it's like by doing and taking the steps to find out who you are, what you want in a relationship, bring your authentic self to a relationship, you don't have to repeat those past lives over and over again. You're breaking all that because you're being true to who you are. So here again, in relationship, it says a relationship card. And this relationship that's coming through is about you with you and your creator and your higher power, whatever. But it's being authentic to yourself. And then the physical relationship with another person can be authentic. on your side. And if it's not on the other person's side, then it's, it's like, take 11 lessons and it's, again, good can be the enemy of the best.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Renisha. So it looks like we're getting close. I see Amy. Hi, Amy. Amy, reading, please. Wanting and needing to move. Is there anything coming up for that? Okay, Amy. So I'm going to take the Angel Answers deck by Radley Valentine and go for... I'm actually getting that it's not quite time for you to move yet. It may feel like it, yet it's the idea and it's the simmering of it, but there's still a little bit more that is not meeting the eye yet. And so keep in mind some more self-care along the way and some really being in full gratitude of where you are right now in the place, and also of taking your place. And thank you for providing shelter. Thank you for a roof over the head and doing that gratitude, and also going around and cleansing the place and blessing it for the next people who will arrive after you move out. There's still some unfinished business, and so they're saying to work with that a little bit, because there's some journaling and some inner work that needs to be done. So the first card is ask for help from others, and this is where you're being asked to ask the divine for help and digging deeper into it. It's kind of like you have outgrown the place, but you haven't outgrown what it has to show you and teach you in that. So there's some forgiveness coming up, and in that there's some practicing the forgiveness, and first and foremost, it's for yourself. That forgiveness of washing it on you first. And so there's this bigger picture happening here. And there will be, in the next phase, within the next 2 to 3 months, I'm seeing a move, but there will be a peaceful resolution from this. But in that, there's still something being harbored in there that needs to, it's festering right now, and it needs to come up into the surface. So it's not something that will be like lanced out, but it needs to spiritually be developed in there, of some insight, clarity, awareness for it to fully heal is what's coming up. So you're like that close. You're right in the pocket, and utilize this time for the spiritual lessons with it is what's coming through. Because our problems today are opportunities, like once again, like we were sharing earlier, for spiritual growth. And that's exactly what's happening. And there's a gift at the end of this that you will be very happy that you're going to be. Actually, they're showing some living on some property is what's coming up. There's some miracle that's going to happen in this outcome. Okay, so hang in there, Amy. Sending you lots of love. And would you like to do the group reading for the week?
Sure.
It's time. It's time. So this is for everybody who, there's just so many readings on here. We simply...
Thank you over on Instagram, too, for joining us. And we're going to do a group reading here. So
yes, so thank you. There's just a lot on here, and we work on getting to as many as possible. And when we can't, at the very end, we leave that room.
So with that, let's go
for everybody.
Actually, I want to go with the Flower Therapy.
By Robert Reeves.
Yes. Flower Therapy. So let's see what we've got. So if we miss you over here on Instagram, let's see what we can do.
Instagram and Facebook.
Minute and a half on Instagram.
You can do it. I know. You could do it.
Okay.
This is for the week.
Theme. Okay, so the beginning of the week, it says, reach for the stars. You deserve only the best, and this is all you should focus your attention on. So it's kind of the theme we've been going on, that self-honesty. Reach for the stars. It's like, there's no vision boards, all that kind of stuff. Doing those things and reaching for the stars. And what do they say? Shoot for the moon, and if you miss, you'll end up in the stars. So moving in that direction, and remembering that you deserve the best.
Yes.
So again, and also as you're moving through the process, the second card in the middle of the week is shield yourself. It says invoke protection to bring the situation to a speedy end. So here again, it's a nice, beautiful pink card, Archangel Jophiel, shielding with the love, and that way it lets love in and out, but it keeps you protected and safe. But taking care of that, here again, keeping that yellow right in the middle there, keeping your power, keeping you vitalized. And how do you do that? It says the last card here is take time for yourself. Enjoy relaxation activities that nurture your soul. Get out in nature if you can, by the water, anything. If you can't do that, get, salt baths. But take time for yourself, prayer and meditation and all that. Thank you over on Instagram for joining us.
Thank
and
you,
I hope
Instagram.
you have a great week. And
love yourself. Oh, there it goes.
And so yeah, taking care of yourself. This time, and here again, that's been kind of a theme today I'm getting with the, being honest with yourself. What do I want? Who am I? All those kind of things. And playing with it and having fun and enjoying the process. And there's doesn't have to be in a rush or anything, but just love yourself.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we're sending you lots of love from Auburn, California, which is in Northern California. If you need to go to our website, it's www.bridgetparvin.com, and we'll join you next week for Serenity and Sobriety at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So thank you for joining us today, and we will...
Yeah, if you go to the website, you can subscribe, and Bridget does another reading every Monday. It comes out every Monday morning through an email. So.
Click, push subscribe. So we're sending you lots of love, and the light in us honors the light in you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Bye-bye. See ya.